What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Halloween Q&A member call. This is the $1 Million Man here. I'm taking over for Shane tonight, and Officer Jocelyn is in the house, and inmate Coco, who is laying down for her. She's going down for the night. There, she said, "I'm done." But we want to welcome you to our member call for October 30th. We are super excited to be here to answer your questions about online business. And having a little fun today. We've been painting pumpkins and getting ready for trunk or treats. And Jocelyn and I decided to have a little fun and dress up. Jocelyn's wearing snowflake socks, though, which kind of throws off her police gear.
Yeah, sorry. I just didn't want to wear shoes in my bedroom.
So we hope that you guys are having a great time with Halloween with your families, getting ready for all the festivities tomorrow night. But tonight we are going to focus on online business. We got a lot of great questions in the chat room. Tonight, the $1 Million Man, Shane Sams. I'm Shane DiBiase is what I'm going to go by tonight, Paul. That's my new wrestling name. And we are pumped up. We've had a great day today. Lots of podcasts. We talked to a couple members today, a couple of coaching calls that we did today. So we have been helping people all day long, and now we can't wait to help you guys. We got a ton of questions in the actual forum post. We got a lot of questions that are already online. So Jocelyn's grabbing those right now. And we will get with those. Let's get a sound check real quick. Make sure that everybody can hear us and see us.
All right. We can hear ourselves. So that is promising.
All right. If you can hear Jocelyn as good as me, that's always the main question. Let us know. Let us know if you can hear Jocelyn as good as you can hear me. And it looks like we are broadcasting on my screen. So I'm going to assume that everyone can see and hear us there. Once we get some visual confirmation, we're going to get going here. All right, Paul says, I can hear and see you both. Charlie says, yep, can hear and see you. Michael said, and Elizabeth says, hey, pumped to be here. Everybody's excited, and we're having a good time. Okay, so we've got a bunch of questions. We're going to get those going.
All right, Lisa, you put in here, my question for today is, and then I have no text. So
I think you hit enter. You got excited, Lisa.
Yeah, or maybe you were trying to copy and paste, okay, but it didn't work.
All right, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get your questions in the chat. This is a member-only Q&A. We do have it broadcasting live on a couple of different social media channels to have some fun. But anyone who is not a member, you are watching and listening, and anyone who is a member in the Flip Your Life community, you get to ask me and Jocelyn's questions about your online business. Go ahead and put those questions in right now because we want to make sure that those are in ahead of time. There was a little bit of a delay between the chat and what you're seeing on the screen and what you're hearing in your ears. So go ahead and get your questions in now. Anything about life, online business, parenting, marriage, it's all intertwined. It all goes together, and we want to help you with anything we can on this Halloween fun edition of the Flip Your Life community member call. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and jump into our first question, and then we will go on and answer as many as we can in the next hour and a half.
All right. The first question is from Carla. Carla says, per the new autoresponder suggestions, and she's talking about at our recent live event, we should now immediately deliver a link to the product on the thank you page and upsell. My question is, for the upsell, should it be our normal 50% off the first month of online training offer, or should it be something exclusive, not to be found or offered anywhere else?
We want funnels should always work core offer, profit maximizer. Okay. So if you're offering a membership site, like we offer a membership site, a monthly membership, that's our core offer. Our profit maximizer is our annual plan because we always price our annual plan higher than LTV if we can. Okay. Which is lifetime value. So whatever your next step is for them, if it's an annual plan, that's what you do. If it's a coaching call, that's what you do. It's always that next step in your business. So there's no real right or wrong answer what you should offer on that page. You should always sell something because the thank you page is not the end of a sales funnel. It is the beginning of your next sales funnel, right? So it doesn't really matter. There's no right or wrong answer, but try to make it the next logical step. Jocelyn and I were just going through our sales funnel recently to try and figure out if it's in the right order. And the annual plan for us may not be our best thank you page pitch, we've decided. So we're going to try some other things there. So just make it your next step, whatever you're selling. But that's good that you are putting something for sale there because if 5% of people take it, you've made 5% more money basically on any offer that you got. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that is a great strategy. I think really you try something. If it works, you continue to do it. If it doesn't, you scrap it and find something else.
Yeah. All right. Good question. Great question to kick off our Halloween member call. Before we get to our next question, we have an awesome success story in the Flip Your Life community that we want to celebrate. We wanted to really start calling out more of these success stories on calls to highlight members who are really taking action. There's been a lot of amazing success stories, big and small, throughout the Flip Your Life community in the last few months.
So if you're not checking out that area, you should on a
Yeah.
regular basis because it's really
It's
motivating.
like super inspiring. And we want to make sure that we're calling out these people to let everybody know what they're doing and kind of celebrate that, because in entrepreneurship and online business, it can be really hard because you're going through the grind every single day, and we get the wins, but then we move on. And we want to make sure that we have definitely reward those people by calling them out. So the first success story on today's Q&A is from Brenda, and Brenda raised her prices, and because of her raising the price sale, she got 4 new members today at $39 a month. I mean, that is absolutely awesome. Imagine if you could get 4 members a day at $40 a month over and over and over again, how that would stack up. And Brenda did that. So, it's really scary to raise your prices. It's even scarier to put it out to your list when you're kind of comfortable and you know what you're doing. But to get 4 new members in a single day, that's like getting a raise. That's giving yourself a raise every day that you get new members. So congratulations, Brenda. Everybody in the chat room, give her a good job. We're super proud of her for all the action that she is taking.
All right. And a story right here in the chat from Lisa. She said, I've just started my Facebook page for my business.
Good job. That is
and
awesome.
she says she opened with a Facebook Live video, which is awesome. All right. The next question is from Kathy. Kathy says, I'm driving home from work, so I wanted to post my question. I know that we talked about PASPy. That's something that Shane will have to explain at Flip Your Life Live. But are there any specific words or phrases that you use when you are selling on video to get people to buy?
Okay, so PASPy is a formula. It's a template that we use to create ad copy. It's based on problem, agitate, solve, but it goes a little bit deeper. We talked about that at Flip Your Life Live, what that is. And everybody there kind of got some inside information on how to set up their ad copy. We've got that in a video that'll be coming out really soon around Black Friday for all the videos from Flip Your Life Live. But what she's really asking here is, are there words or kind of things that you can say that are kind of the magic things that push people over the edge and kind of get them to buy your product? So, the biggest advice I always give people when they're talking on webinars and lives is to be as clear as possible. Like, don't try to get caught up in copy as much as you do and templating as much as you're just telling people, this is your problem. I have the solution. Here, this is clearly the solution. It worked for all these other people and me. It can work for you too. So be as clear as possible when you're on your lives, when you're on your Facebook lives, when you're on your webinars. Tell people exactly what your product does, and then sprinkle in some of those extra things to kind of push them over the edge. One of the things that we do in all of our webinars after we get done creating it is we go back and put in what are called trial closes. So trial closes are also called head nodders. It's getting people to agree with you throughout your presentation. So if you say, you have a problem, it's XYZ. Has that ever really caused a big problem in your life? And you get them and you start shaking your head and they're like, yeah, that has caused a problem in my life. Wouldn't it be cool if you had a solution to that problem and you're kind of nodding your head and they start nodding with you like, yeah, that would be amazing if I had a solution to that problem. And my favorite one is, you're getting this, right? And it's like, I'm trying to get you to understand it, but I'm really saying, you're getting this, right? So always sprinkle in those head nodders and those trial closes. But, the most important thing you can do on any sales copy is to be as clear as possible.
Yeah, I would say just break it down for your people. Like, make it clear that you're there to help them and that you want them to purchase this, not just to benefit you, but to benefit them. And, just experiment with some of that language and see what works for you, see what feels the most natural. And that's probably going to be the best thing for you to use.
All right, we've got another success story that I want to highlight here from Jen. Jen Kamel was actually on our podcast a few weeks ago, and she posted a success story in the community this week. She now has over 40 members, and altogether, the income that she is creating is around $16,000 a month. I mean, that is insane money. She's got some big goals. She's going to go speak. She's going to do a bunch of things, but she posted in the forum this week. She just crossed that major milestone in her life. So make sure you check out Jen's podcast episode. We'll try to drop a link to that in the chat so you can check that out. But just an amazing case of taking massive action, going after her niche, and building an awesome online income. That is just an obscene amount of money. So good job, Jen. That's awesome.
All right. Really cool. We love seeing those success stories. A lot of people ask us, how do I become a guest on the podcast? Well, I'll tell you a secret. We choose our guests from the success stories area.
We want to reward people who are taking action, and nothing screams I'm taking action better than a good success story. As even like creating your Facebook group and getting members to it. Like, we celebrate all successes. We talked to 2 people today. One was at the very beginning of their journey, and one was or had already quit their job and was making their full-time income online. So it's not like we're saying you got to go make $16,000 or you got to go get 4 new members in a day. Like, even just something you're taking action and you're ready to go to the next level, we look for that and we try to grab those people and get them on the podcast. So great job, everybody out there taking action in the success forums.
All right. Our next question is from Janet. Janet says, should the main opt-in on my website be broad to cast a wider net and appeal to more people, or should it be very specific to catch only those who are a super target audience? I think that this could really go either way. I think that in general, we sort of do a general opt-in bonus for like on our homepage, and then sometimes on different blog posts or podcasts we will do more specific opt-in bonuses for those.
And we get specific based on the content. Like, that's why we have a free trial to the Flip Your Life community. You know, if someone's not a member of the community, they can go log in, or they can go get a free trial, try it for 30 days and get access to everything. That's not just because we want to give people a free trial or just because we want them to see how awesome the membership and the community and these live Q&As are. It's because it makes it easier for us to create opt-ins. So let's say I do a video on YouTube, and maybe the video is a 15-minute Q&A where I answer a question from the Flip Your Life community forums, and it's all about coming up with my business idea. So maybe someone says, hey, I can't really come up with a good idea. I don't really feel like I'm talented in anything. And, you know, I've got a couple ideas, but I don't know if they'll make money. What do I do? Well, I may go in and talk about that a little bit, you know, some tips to get started. But at the end of that video, I can say, hey, we have 2 courses on getting your idea and researching it to see if it's making money in the marketplace in the Flip Your Life community. Here's a free trial. So we have a general free trial, but we can get specific. That's kind of strategic and tactically what we do with our opt-ins. But you should never get locked into, I have an opt-in, right? You don't have an opt-in. Every piece of content categorically needs to point to something unique to it. At first, you create your first opt-in, but I would say we probably have 20 to 30 pages set up that collect opt-ins. Every time we go on a podcast, we set up a new opt-in for that podcast. It might be something we've given away before, but if we're on Michael O'Neill's podcast or Pat Flynn's podcast or John Lee Dumas's podcast, we're going to have something different for each audience that's going to a unique page that's opting in separately. So I would say create a general opt-in first, but then as you create more content, you need to start creating other opt-ins that are more specific to that content so they can take their logical next step. Okay.
All right. If you guys are just joining us, we have decided to dress up. It is a special Halloween edition of the Flip Your Life member call. My inmate dog down here is not loving wearing this shirt, but she's tolerating it.
I'm just happy I got to get all of my belts out at once. All of my championship wrestling belts that I keep around the house. They're all in the same place. I'm surrounded by WWE WrestleMania gold. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn's really happy about this as well. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm super happy about the wrestling. I'm surprised he didn't try to get me to be some wrestling person. I don't know any wrestling.
Jocelyn already had her
people.
costume for trunk or treat at the elementary school, so we're already prepared. We're actually taking the dogs.
Well, and it involves my cute dog. So
That's right. We got the dogs in the criminal outfits, and we're taking them and putting them in the back of the van. So as the kids come around, we will be we're going to have the dogs in the car, and they're going to be the prisoners. I actually have a little police get up.
Yeah, I have to get rid of the blue light tonight, though. It's like starting to get on my nerves.
I know, it's like I'm starting to have a seizure a little bit over here on this.
Oh, this is a good idea. Charlie says the next Flip Your Life Live, we should get a WWE belt for the member of the year.
Oh, that is an incredible idea. We will
Thanks,
have the belt
Charlie.
design, and it will have a Flip Your Life logo, and the member of the year gets a belt. Jocelyn, I think that's happening. Charlie, you have made that's the best idea I've heard in years. And we're doing that. Flip Your Life Live
Thanks, Charlie.
2019. If you want to be there, we think we know the dates. We think we know the location. We've not released that yet, but the waiting list is open at flippedlifestyle.com/live. And you can go sign up for that. We're going to make it bigger and better, and we're going to have a championship belt.
If you want to be one of the first people to know the information, when it's going to be, where it's going to be, how much it's going to be, head over to fliplifestyle.com/live and you can learn more about that. We would love to hang out with you. We had an amazing time.
Yeah, this year's member of the year was Kevin Depew, an amazing member. I've not seen him in the chat. He may be here. I've not been looking at the chat very hard. But Kevin was the member of the year this year, and I may have to give him a retroactive belt. But the way we give our awards to our community is based on service. So the more questions you post in the community, but specifically the more replies you make, you earn points every time you reply to someone's post and help them. You get 2 points for replying and helping someone, and 1 for posting a question. So we have these things called Flip Your Life coins that you can earn throughout the year to be like available for an award. And whoever gets the most coins is the member of the year. So the most coins may get a belt next year with the Flip Your Life logo on it. That'd be absolutely amazing.
There are no words. I have no words.
All right, guys, we got a lot of questions. Keep them coming. Make sure that you're putting your question in the chat room inside of the Flip Your Life community. And we will get to as many questions as we can on tonight's call. But make sure you're not waiting for a gap. If we run out of questions, then we run out of time. So make sure you're putting your questions in now ahead of time so that we can get to everyone's question tonight. And we don't have to wait or there's no lag in the call.
All right. This question is from Jennifer. Jennifer says, my husband and I are adopting a baby. So in about a month, I'm going to have a newborn for the first time. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
What do I need to do for my business now so that it keeps running while I'm focused on the baby? I'm at a stage where I'm trying to build an audience and get members.
You know, content is the best thing to get ahead on anytime something big's coming up. You know, when we're getting ready to go on a trip, when we're like last month, was it last month or the month before? Well, now it's
last
almost,
month.
Yeah, it's almost, I think
it's almost
it was last
2
month.
months ago.
It seems like forever ago. But last month when we did Flip Your Life Live, we got prepared about a month ahead to make sure that we had podcasts rolling out, to make sure that we had YouTube videos coming out. We did do member calls live during that time, but I think that was the only like live creation we did for a couple weeks leading into that big event. And then plus we went on vacation after it. It's really hard to get ahead on promotion because even with ads, you've got to watch them to make sure that they're converting correctly and you're not wasting money. So you don't really want to put too much into getting promotion. You got to keep promotion in real time. Even with a baby, even with more responsibilities, there's always going to be the grind, right? And you got to stay focused in real time, stay really relevant and like in the moment. But, you know, the main thing is get content done. If you can get content done for about 8-9 weeks ahead so that every other week you can kind of stay ahead, that's really going to help in those times the baby's crying and, you know, the flex time runs out and you just didn't get done what you wanted to get done. At least your content's going to come out. At least that's going to roll out. At least your social media is going to share. So, you know, just focus on content and have a nice plan to actually promote and do things during, you know, those times that are in real time and live. And Jocelyn always works flex time into her schedules. So maybe she could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially when you have big life changes, especially with a new baby. I mean, it's very, it's just a very, what am I trying to say? Yeah, it's like it is a very unsettled time and you just don't really know what's going to happen. It's also very uncertain as far as like your schedule and when you're going to be able to sleep and when the baby's going to be asleep. And all those things are just kind of a question mark. So when you have those question marks, I like to build in what I call backup times on my calendar. And basically what that means is I have a primary time set aside to work. But if something happens, and I have a backup time built in. And really, at the stage you're at, you may even need 2 backup times. Just make sure that you have time set aside to be able to work on things that have to be done.
And don't get over ambitious. Don't listen to all the gurus and what everybody else is doing and, you know, say, well, they are releasing 3 blog posts a week. And I heard Gary Vee the other day on a talk. He said, you got to release 100 social media posts a day. If you're not doing that, you're not working hard enough. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like people have lives, people have things to do. And, you know, if you get there in a year and I get there in a month, it doesn't matter. We both get there. It's like the guy that passes you on the interstate You know, you're out on the interstate and you're driving, a guy passes you going 100 miles an hour. You both get off on the same exit. You end up at the red light at the same time, even though he was going 90. You know, like that's really what most entrepreneurship is online. So run your own race. Stay focused on what you're doing and don't get caught up in all the hype that everybody else says they're doing, because your journey is going to look different than everybody else's. Okay. I have to say, like, sitting here with this belt is very cumbersome. Like, I don't know how the wrestlers do it. Like, I'm keeping it on though, because I don't get to usually wear my $1 million belt whenever I want to. So I'm doing this.
We got to use these belts for something. He was supposed to decorate with them.
I have not built my shelves in my office over at Flip Your Life World headquarters. And so I've not got them ready yet. I'm trying to build a podcast set like behind me. Just haven't had time to do it yet. So, hey, real quick, guys, as we get into this next question, hey, we want to know your success stories from everyone that's here live. So make sure you're posting your success stories in the chat as well. We're not just going to read them from the success forums. There's a lot of people here taking action. You being here in the membership and on the call is taking action. So we're going to highlight a lot of success stories that are happening in the Flip Your Life community. But we definitely want to get to anybody live success stories as well. But let's get on to the next question right now.
All right. This question is from Lisa. Lisa says, I'm just starting, so what should I focus on? I would really like to get a beta launch for my membership up before the Christmas holidays. I'm planning to post on social media every day, create a worksheet as a lead magnet for getting people on my email list, and work on getting my website up and running from scratch. Does this sound like the correct order? So the order is post on social media, create a worksheet as an opt-in bonus, and get my website up.
Well, the first thing, okay, so that sounds good in practice, but the big thing that we have learned in years of doing online business and helping hundreds of people is that you really should work backwards, because if you don't work backwards and get the thing you're selling done first, and I'm going to get to what I mean by that here in a second, then it's going to be kind of a moot point, because you're just sharing stuff on social and getting emails that lead to nowhere. It's like a railroad track that stops on the end of a cliff, right? Well, before you bring the train out and it stops at the end of the cliff and you can't go anywhere, right? You should have built the bridge first to get it across and then brought the train, right? Bring the traffic. So what you really need to do is at least have a pre-sale page that details what's going to be in the membership, or maybe even a private Facebook group where you can go ahead and charge people to join, right? Start with the product and then work backwards. Build the bridge, okay? Then lay the tracks, so that then the track before the bridge is actually your opt-in. Do that, and then go get the train. That's where you start sharing stuff on social and bring the traffic. So any kind of project that you're doing, guys, it doesn't matter if it's releasing a new product, launching a live event, starting a paid Facebook group, doing coaching calls. Always work your infrastructure backwards. Work at the product level first. Make sure that you could send someone to get the thing, and then go and figure out how you're going to get the leads, and then go and figure out how you're going to get the traffic. And you're going to find that all the creation goes so much easier, so much smoother to get that done. You know, our next product that we're releasing is all of the video and audio from Flip Your Life Live this year. And we're going to release that as a separate product. It's not going to be in the community. It's only available for people who go to the live event or buy it separately. And when we did that and we wrote this big project out the other day, there's a picture of us on Instagram working on this. There's a bunch of little yellow Post-it notes. We said, what has to be done first? Well, we have to edit the videos. Okay, what has to be done second? The videos have to be put online where they can be viewed. What has to be done next? We have to put a paywall up for people to get to that product. What needs to be done next? The sales funnel. That's all the opt-ins and the emails and the emails that'll deliver out and give the product. And then the last thing is create social media posts and ads to promote it. Okay. So always work backwards whenever you're doing any kind of projects like that.
Okay. What I was going to say is, what we don't want you to think, okay, someone's coming in our room.
Anna Joe was painting pumpkins. I'm not sure what she's doing now. What are you doing? Hi. We're doing a member call. Okay. Okay. Where? You mean wear the police hat? I'm the $1 million policeman.
Okay.
You want to take Coco? She's over here.
Take her shirt off. She doesn't like it. Just take it
off. Come on, Coco. Up.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, hold on.
Real life going on here.
Interaction. Yeah. Can you go in there, please?
Okay. So what I was going to say is that what we are not suggesting.
Stop it. Wait, hold on. We're going to hurt the dog. Hold on. All right, guys. Real life here. All right, come here. Hop up.
She doesn't like that noise. Okay, we're gonna take our inmate out because she doesn't like wearing
Been
clothes.
paroled. Yay. All
Here,
right,
Coco.
all right, hop up.
Come
Come
on
on.
here.
Bye, Coco. See you, baby.
I gave her some
All
cheese
right, Anna,
for
shut the door, please,
cooperating.
once Coco goes out.
Okay. Sorry guys. All right. So
So this happens from time to time. You know,
yeah.
that was tame. Anna Joe has been featured on the Q&As eating chicken, pretty much being awake way too late and doing all sorts of good stuff. So
Okay.
now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. So Lisa, what I was trying to say is that we don't want you or anyone else to think that we are suggesting that you make a huge product, that you spend 500 hours making a big product that someone may or may not buy. That is not at all what we're suggesting. So I want people to understand that. Okay. What we are suggesting is that you get something available, maybe something small that's available for people to buy so that you can get leads and those leads could possibly turn into sales.
All right, our dog just came in by herself and kicked the door open. So there's our other dog. Okay, this is the okay. Let me go lock this door better. All right, guys.
All right, we got Halloween. We got blue lights here. We have dogs going in and out. We have kids going in and out. I don't know. Apparently we did not lock the door. So yeah. Okay, well. All right, did you actually lock it?
Yes, it's actually
okay. We have these like French doors, and if you don't lock it up at the top, the dogs can just like push in the door, and they know how to do it. So
good times, good times. All right, I got a success story real quick from Stephanie from the Flip Your Life Community Success Forums. Her title of her post was Sales Page Success. And Stephanie says, I asked for feedback on my sales pages about 2 months ago and got some great feedback. And Jocelyn asked some really powerful questions. I changed one of my sales pages based on her suggestions. And then she said, cha-ching, 4 subscribers in 3 weeks. Thanks again for Jocelyn and this powerful community. See, guys, every little success stacks, even just getting in the community and saying, hey, what do you guys think about the sales page? Getting a little feedback, changing something. And that's the one thing that kind of knocks the logjam out to get all of those subscribers. So good job, Stephanie. Way to take action. Awesome success story.
All right. Yes, we love that. Thank you for listening to the questions that I had and just for thinking about them. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to just make you think about things. We're not here to have all the right answers. We don't have all the right answers, but what we're here to do is to get you to think and push you past the boundary that you think you can go past. And that's the cool thing about our community. So,
Michael and Elizabeth says, Jocelyn, that Anna is your carbon copy. She's your mini me. So.
Yeah, I have a picture of me like from the 1980s. She loves to show it to people. Aside from the big like bouffant bangs that I had, we look very, very much alike. All right, we actually have another success story from here in the chat. It is from Melanie. She says, I did a coaching call with Shane a couple of weeks ago, and as a result, I have started my YouTube channel, and I've been creating at least 5 videos a week.
Wow, killing it. That is amazing. It's not as hard as you think, right, Melanie? Not as hard as you think. So good job, man. And like she was kind of like nervous to do it. And then she just all of a sudden she's cranking out more content than me. I got to step up my game, Melanie. I didn't do 5 this week. So you've inspired me to get it going. That's what it's all about.
All right. If you're just joining us, we're having a little fun here on Halloween Eve in the U.S. It is October 30th here. And I know we have some people from Australia and other places that it is Halloween.
Like, why are they dressed? What is going on over there? So
yeah, we don't normally have a flashing blue light in our eye during the member call.
Or WWE championship belts strewn about the room. So all right, next question.
All right, this question is from Brian. Brian says, how do you launch a membership site to your email list when you haven't emailed them anything in the past couple of months? All right, well, here's the thing. I actually just had this question in the community earlier today. So basically what Brian is saying is that he has people on his email list, but for whatever reason, he has not emailed them in a long time. Maybe he was taking a break from his business. Maybe he just didn't feel like emailing them or whatever it is. Okay. So you have a list of people. They are vaguely familiar with you because they signed up for your email list, but maybe they don't really remember you or know what you have to offer. So what I said to the person earlier in the community is that I would do some very unselfish emails. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to provide value. You're going to say, "Hey guys, it's Brian. It's been a little while. I just wanted to let you know that I'm back. I'm excited. I've got some really cool stuff coming up for you. And I'm just reaching out to say hello. Here is something valuable for you. Maybe it's a free blog post that I wrote. Maybe it's a free download, just something that they can like re-engage with you. That's what I recommend for you to do first. Definitely do not try to pitch them anything if you have not emailed them in a while.
I would add to that too, to remind them they signed up for your list. Okay. So as you're giving these free things and you're giving them great value, say, hey, so and so, man, thanks for signing up for my newsletter, my list, my whatever you call it. I want to give you something as a reward for that. And let them know overtly in the first sentence of the emails, you signed up for this. Okay. There's also something very interesting that I picked up from, I can't remember where I saw somebody do this. I actually subscribe to all kinds of emails, newsletters, because I want to see what people are doing. And so I just watch what their emails are they send out, and I study the structure of them. And I also watch infomercials. Does anybody have the infomercial channel? What's it called? Look, is that what it's called? Something like that. It's like channel
Yeah,
2 on
something like that.
DirecTV. But I sit and watch infomercials all the time to like see them pitch and see what their offers are and listen to the language they use, because I'm a nerd and I love that stuff. But I got this off of somebody's email, and it's really been beneficial. At the bottom of your email, leave some space, and then like right above the unsubscribe link in all of your emails, put, hey, thank you for signing up for our email list. Please note that all of our systems are tied to your email. If you unsubscribe, we will not be able to deliver all this great content to you, including things you've paid for. And thanks for staying on the newsletter list again. So in every email almost that I send out, especially to non-members of the Flip Your Life community, like, people who are not buyers yet, I always remind them, you signed up for the list. If you unsubscribe, I won't be able to give you anything else. So I'm giving you this free thing. You're on the list because you wanted to be here. You need to stick around. So those are some tips to keep your unsubscribes down. And probably, I'd say 3 to 5 emails, you should have them warmed up enough, the people who are going to open your emails, to where you can go ahead and start kind of moving them toward, your pitch. Okay. You might want to not pitch in the emails. You might want to pitch like on a webinar. So maybe invite them to a webinar, invite them to a Facebook Live, invite them to something else, get them to leave the email system and come to you. And they'll probably be a lot more susceptible to, listening to your pitch or whatever you're selling. Okay.
All right, let's do another success story from the chat here. Liette says, my success story, I'm up to 17 email subscribers now.
Awesome.
So
That's big
great.
time.
Slowly but surely, also have started with my email autoresponder sequence. Great.
We to piggyback off this success story, my nephew is 18 years old and he plays guitar. He taught himself how to play guitar watching YouTube videos. And of course, everybody around us is always like, what do you guys do? How do you guys do it? Like, and he was like, do you think I can make money online? And I'm like, well, sure you could. And he goes, but I'm just what could I do? And I said, teach guitar. And he goes, teach guitar? Who's going to listen to a kid teach guitar? And I looked at him and leaned in. I went, younger kids who can't play guitar. And he just laughed. But he started his own website. He got a course going, and he's been doing YouTube videos consistently. And he got like 17, 18 emails in the last couple of weeks too. So it just goes to show you guys, if you take action, good things are going to happen. All right, let's jump into the next question.
All right. Next, it's a question from Liette, and she says, I have a question about an introductory offer. I'm confused about whether I should create a product first. I know that you've mentioned a product first philosophy, but then I've also heard you say about having an audience and finding out about what they want. I've been focusing on building an audience and getting email subscribers so I can ask them what they want. I do have a product available, which is career coaching calls, but should I create a digital product now? Or wait until I have feedback from the audience so I create the right product?
When we say, this is a very, like, what's the best way to say this? This is kind of a landmine field. Okay. You got to like be careful when you're surveying your audience. We do ask questions of our audience. Okay. And we take their feedback. But at the end of the day, we have to make a decision on what we're going to offer. Right. And until we let someone vote with their wallet, we don't always trust survey data. I can send out an email that says, reply to this and tell me what you think. I can let people vote. Hey, do you want to come to Flip Your Life Live? Yes, no, or maybe, whatever. But until I say, here is a sales page with a price, and you have to go get your wallet out, and you've got to get your debit or credit card, and you've got to buy this thing, I don't know for sure if you're going to actually do this. So, kind of how we have evolved our business is this: we usually will pre-sell a product on a sales page, even if it's not created, let people buy it and then create it and get their feedback while we're doing it from the people who voted with their wallets. Okay. I trust the people who pay us way more than the people who don't to tell us what they need and want, right? Because we have a relationship. They're paying for value, we're giving value back. I can ask them, was that enough? Or do you need more? And they can tell me yes or no. Or maybe they say, I need something totally different. I need something next. I need something else. So, in general, the correct thing to do is to sell something to people. And then the people that buy it, those are the people you want to survey. Those are the audience members that you want. All that other information is going to give you direction, but you can't trust it because they're not your customer yet. So don't get too caught up in the surveys. You decide what they need and give that to them.
And your coaching, that is a product. Like, you don't have to go and create some big book or course or anything like that. That is a product. Like, that would give you information from people who want to purchase your product or service.
We actually do this with our Flip Your Life podcast calls. We have a series of questions that we ask before the interview starts with our members. We bring our member on, we give them, a free one-on-one call as a reward for taking action and posting success story posts. And then, but we ask them for feedback. We're like, hey, how you doing? How did you hear about us? What brought you to the Flip Your Life community? What's something in the community that you may not need, that we don't have, that you need? Like, those are the people we really focus on, because your customers are all that matters, really, in the grand scheme of things. Turning people who are not customers into customers and asking customers what they need next. That's how you grow your business. So don't get too caught up into surveys unless you're surveying customers, and you're going to be all right. All right.
All right. And that being said, all of that stuff about product first, we do want you to have a website. We do want you to have content on your website so that people have ways to find you. So don't misunderstand that. But
you just need a direction from when we say product first, at least know where they're going. Like, you may not even have it created yet, but at least know that's where you're going to take them eventually. And then you can do those other things.
And if you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, you know that we normally do not have anything finished when we sell something. So when we first sell a product, we have an outline and we say, hey, people, do you want to buy it? Yes or no?
And then the people that buy it, we go get feedback back from them. Last year, when we decided to do our big 100-person live event in Nashville, we said the first week, hey, guys, we don't have a venue. We barely have dates. They're penciled in, but we're going to go ahead and sell you this ticket because we know you want to be there. And like 70-something people bought in the first couple of days. We immediately got those people into a Facebook group and started asking them what they wanted to see at the live event, right? Because they were the ones that were going to be there. It didn't matter to me what anybody else said they wanted at the live event, because those were the people that put up their money and said, we're coming. So that's really what you want to do, is say, hey, this is going to be for sale. What do you think? Well, come help me build it, but you got to pay to get in, and you'll be all right. All right.
All right. I'm not sure of this person's name. Sometimes people come up as like like a handle. Yeah. So this question says, what can I do in my country if I can't apply for a PayPal account?
Gosh, this is probably outside of the scope of this Q&A. I don't know. I would need to know the country you're in, and we would have to look that up. Like, I'm not for sure. We would have to check that. Sometimes we don't have the answers, guys. Put that in the forums.
And hopefully somebody from another country can help you jump in and like help you figure that out.
Or we'll be in the forums. Maybe we can catch it too. But like, I'm not sure. You'd have to let us know the country. You've got to have a payment processor. If you can't do PayPal, maybe you can do something else like Stripe, Western Union, something else. That would be my biggest tip, is go try to find another kind of payment processor. And sometimes banks will do this for you too.
If you go and do like a Google search, you can search for like alternatives to PayPal in whatever country you're in.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Next question.
All right. This question is from Eva. She says, I have a question about another product idea I have. I am a certified infant and child sleep consultant, and I have a membership to help parents get their little ones asleep for babies ages 4 months to 5 years. Many parents have asked me to create a program for newborn babies. My main concern with doing a sleep program for newborn is that I can't really talk about results in a black and white manner, the way that I talk about results for older kids because they're newborns. While there's lots that parents can do to establish healthy sleep habits from day one, there's still so much in the air when dealing with newborns. So a parent could easily purchase this newborn sleep program, follow everything, and still not see any results. If I were to move forward with this product, how should I take this concern into account?
Okay. Number one, everybody who ever sells anything, I hate to tell you this, 80% of the people that buy it may follow it to the letter and still not get results. That's just, they may quit, they may fail, they may do something different, they may try things on their own. Like, once you sell your product to someone, you can't control what they do with it. You know, I would love for every person who ever joins the Flip Your Life community to be one of the hundreds and hundreds of people that post in the success forums, but they're not. Some people don't succeed when they buy your product. So don't let that's kind of a mindset issue that I think you've got to kind of get over. If you have great information that could help them
And
with their
has
baby
helped other
and has
people.
helped other people, then you owe it to them to bring that to the world and tell them this worked for me. It worked for Sally. It worked for Jimmy. It may work for you. It may not, but you've got to try it, because if you don't try it and nothing else is working, you've got no chance. Your baby's just going to keep you up all night. You're going to be miserable, and you're going to, like, not be able to go to work and not be able to do anything. So we have to create solutions that can solve problems, and then it's up to the customer to implement the solution. Like I'm telling everybody right now who's on this call, who's listening to this later, if you don't do the work, you don't have a chance, right? If you don't watch the courses, if you don't take the action, you don't even have a chance to work. And you know what? For some people, it may still not work. Like that's just the way it is.
And sometimes unexpected things are going to happen to you. It's just like in online business. Like sometimes your website's going to be blown up. Something's going to happen to it. You're going to mess up a line of code and it's going to stop working. Sometimes
the baby's going to get what's it called, colic, and all these sleep things don't work because the baby's belly's hurting. Like you just don't know what the scenario is, but at least you gave them an opportunity to find peace at night and get their baby to sleep.
I think that no matter what, as long as you stay the course and you're determined that you're going to find a solution, no matter what the circumstances, it's just like an online business. If you're determined that you're going to do it, you will find a way to make it work. Yeah. So don't worry so much about people implementing it and whether or not they're doing it the way you would do it or that it's working perfectly for them. As long as you have people and they have gotten results, you know it's possible. And you can't control what other people do. It's like you can't control if people do it the way you say to do it.
Jocelyn and I have a deep passion for helping families find freedom through online business. Okay. But we also have a period at the end of the sentence. We know that we can't make people succeed. All we can do is give people an opportunity to succeed. We show them the path that we walked. We show them the path that hundreds of other people have walked through the Flip Your Life community. We show them all the results, all the testimonials, all the success stories, and we prove that it can work. And then you've got to go do it, right? And that's what you're doing. So if you've got some newborn infants that have used your methods and they have went to sleep for these parents, and you've got some people that you can point to say, well, they tried it and this worked. So you might as well give it a shot because nothing else is worth it. I remember when we had this problem. I can't remember if it was with Isaac. What was that book that we used?
We used one called Baby Wise.
Yes, Baby Wise. So we had tried all these things to get Isaac, I think, to sleep, and Jocelyn found this book called Baby Wise. And online,
well, actually, my dental hygienist told me about it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So she checked this book called Baby Wise, and it worked for her. And we were like, hey, if it worked for you, maybe it will work for us. So we go online, and all of a sudden we see it's just like everything else in America these days. Half the people say, oh, this is bull crap, it didn't work. And half the people say, it's a miracle, it worked for me. Well, guess what? It worked for us. Okay.
Because we implemented it. Yeah. It's just like everything else in life. It doesn't really matter what you do. It's like dieting.
But it could not have worked. What I'm saying is that method may not have worked, but it was an opportunity
exactly
for it to happen for us. So
and if it didn't work for me, then I wouldn't say, well, this is stupid and it didn't work. I would just say, hey, for whatever reason it didn't work and I'm going to try something different. So
this is not an issue of marketing. This is not an issue. It's a mindset issue by you scared to offer this to someone. If you have any success stories where it has worked for people, then say it worked for them. It could work for you. Let's try it and give them a chance.
All right. This next question is from Fred. Fred says, I'm thinking about downsizing my job to help free up more time to focus on this community and my online business. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Caveat, we always tell everyone we do not give quit your job advice. We don't even give downsize your job advice. So whatever we say after this point, take it for a grain of salt. All we can tell you is what we have done and what we have seen other people do. Okay. There has been a trend lately in the Flip Your Life community. We've seen quite a few people, especially coming out of Flip Your Life Live. There was a few people that did this that have went to work and said, I can't work full time anymore. I want to work part time. I want to work 3 days a week. I want to work 2 days a week. I want to go part time. And basically, they said to themselves, we're going to make less money, but we're going to focus more on our online business. There's people in the chat right now. If you want to holler at Fred and tell him, I know there are people in here right now that just did this in the last couple of weeks. Almost every single person I've seen do that, Fred, has put the effort in on those days that they got back, on that time they got back, and made massive progress in their business. When Jocelyn and I were making the decision on whether we were going to quit our jobs, we had already made money, we had built businesses, and we looked at each other and said, if this is what we can do part-time, what could we do full-time? The question you're asking yourself is, man, I'm making progress in my spare time. What if I went part-time, right? If you put the effort in, you have a great chance to succeed when you get more time for your online business. That's just the way it works.
I love the idea of this because to me, it's like telling yourself, okay, I'm drawing this line. I'm going to make this work and I have no choice but to make this work. And for us, like that was something that was really important because I don't think if we had not drawn that line and said, okay, we're really going to go in with this and like make it happen, then I don't think that we would have been as, I guess, what would you say? Like, we wouldn't have worked as urgently as we did
to get it done. And also, too, like this even happens recently. Like last year, we sold one of our education companies for, I mean, it was a great sale, it was a lot of money, but we did it to put ourselves back on our heels again and say, now what? And we had to go for about 6 months all in on Flip Your Life, but we grew the business like, 150% over a 6-month period. And I don't think we could have even remotely came close to filling a room full of 100 people if we had not went all in on that task. So we kind of went part-time. We were part-time Flip Your Life 2 years ago, and then now we're full-time Flip Your Life, right? And it's made all the difference in the world because it gave us that focus, gave us more energy. You've got to put all the variables together, though, in your life. You are the only person, you and your wife and your family, that knows your bills, your financial situation. Can you make it? What do you do? What are you going to sacrifice? Because when we choose one thing, we lose another. If you choose part-time, you're losing money. I mean, it's just the way it is. But, if you think you can pull it off, why not try it? Like, why not go and give it a shot? What's the worst thing that can happen? A year from now, you go back and pick up a couple more days, you change jobs and get something full-time. Like,
or you go all in on this business and you make it
works.
work.
Like, what if it works? Like, so, hey, man, I think in our situation, we would probably almost always make that call. But
Yeah, and ultimately it's up to you guys. We never, like Shane said earlier, we never tell someone to quit their job,
we don't
to
know all the
downsize their
variables. We just don't
job.
know.
Yeah, because it's too hard for us to know everything that's going on. But you just have to make that determination. And I really like it for a lot of people because it's do or die. You figure it out or you don't.
And Jocelyn and I were just talking to our live event coordinator last night at like 10:30 at night. I got really hyped up and I stayed up till like 2 in the morning.
You can't imagine this,
yeah,
right?
no, right. But we looked at the numbers and we were like, well, what if we could do this many people? And we were like, what if we could double the amount of people at Flip Your Life Live? And we kind of looked at each other and went like, well, that was scary. But what if we did 3 times as many people? Like, could we maybe get to 300 people? Could we prepare just in case we wanted to try that? And we started getting these quotes and getting these answers because we look for things that stretch us and scare us to death, because anything short of scaring us to death is boring, right? And we're like, it's not going to force us to succeed. Like, it would be easy to just do the same thing we did again this year, but what if we could do more? So like, that's kind of where we fall on these goal setting things, is go all in, commit, set yourself up for success, and kind of burn the boats. You got no chance to turn back and see what happens. So All right, guys, we got another great success story from the Flip Your Life community. This is an awesome one, too. It actually comes from our Flip Your Life live event. The subject is $800 in new membership sales just 2 weeks after Flip Your Life Live Nashville. It is from Joe and Amanda. I think this is Amanda writing. She said, "First, I want to give a huge thank you to Shane and Jocelyn for all of the hard work they put into Flip Your Life Live. It was at this event that I was able to finally see the mission and vision for my business clearly. Once I got clarity on these important foundations, everything started to click. Before I even left the live event, I put together a plan for promoting my online membership community. For 3 days in a row, I promoted it and I created more than $800 in new membership sales in just 10 days after leaving the event." So just another amazing success story from Flip Your Life Live and the Flip Your Life community about, when you get around other entrepreneurs who are inspired, other family focused people who want to change their life, and then you go take action on that inspiration, big things happen. Imagine being able to give yourself an $800 a month raise just by going out and taking action. We all have worked 9 to 5s. We've all been in the quote unquote real world. Like, you don't get an $800 a month raise. Like, you're lucky if you get an inflation based raise every year, but you really can give yourself a raise every day when you have a membership community. If you have $100 a month membership and you go sell 10 of them, you just gave yourself $1,000 a month raise. And Joe and Amanda took action and did that. So congratulations, guys. That is awesome. She wrote big hugs at the bottom of this. So big hugs right back at you.
All right. Awesome. Love that. Okay. Our next question is from, let's see, Melanie. Do you have any tips for how to approach people to become a podcast guest?
Oh, I just blanket I've always been the person that does this for us. Like, we had a company that did it for us one time and it was pretty good. It was all right. But it's just better when it's personal. I just reach out and ask people. Now, I would say you have to go after smaller fish before you go after the whales. Not everyone is just going to let you on because you have a good story, right? But if you can start building a book, like go on podcasts that are just random, may have no audiences, start building 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 podcasts that you got, like this, almost like this little resume of all the podcasts you've been on. And eventually you'll start working your kind of way up the food chain in the podcast world. Listen, going on podcast is a great strategy for introducing your brand to new people. Pretty much every podcast we've ever been on has produced quite a few leads for us. You can also go to conferences like Podcast Movement or other places where a lot of podcasters are going to be in the same place. Podcast Movement's a great place because people are literally like, "Hey, good to meet you. Hey, what's your podcast? Oh, that's cool. I'm in that industry too." And they're like, "Hey, I've got my recorder here. Let's go over to these chairs and we'll sit down and do an episode." And we actually were at a live event one time, and there was a dude he had brought a recorder, and there were 2 dudes in the pool talking. He goes up and gets his recorder, and they were standing in the pool, and they did a podcast right there in the swimming pool, and they aired it later on. So, networking and just reaching out, and just don't be shy. Ask 100 people, 10 of them are going to let you on, right? And then eventually it'll be the right 10 that let you go forward.
I would say think outside the box a little bit too. Like, you don't have to go in your exact space. Like, for us, we might go into family and parenting and talk about what we do because, we do a lot of online business stuff, of course, because that's what we do. But then we also look outside a little bit too. And we've not done a great job of that either. That's something that we really should start doing more of. A lot of people have an application to be a podcast guest, especially if they're not like a huge podcast. If it's a huge podcast, probably they're going to need to know you personally. So you'll need to do some actual like in-person networking.
Or get a referral. Like, we've had people, like, we've been on their podcast and you would think it was a smaller podcast, but then they knew, like, it was such a good interview or such a good time. They reached out to people and said, "Wow, what a great guest." And when you start getting bigger opportunities, that's where those will come from. I got an email one morning, and it was Pat Flynn, and he just said, "Hey, Shane, this is Michael Stelzner. Mike, this is Shane. He's a great guest. Have him on the podcast." And that's how I got on the Social Media Marketing World podcast.
And here's a little pro tip for you. This is like a little sneaky thing you can do. So if you have any competitors in your space, you can go into iTunes or even into Google, search for that person's name and podcast and see what podcast they've been on and contact those people.
Because you can you're the same kind of content they're looking for, right? So it's an easy way to get on the shows. So yeah, just you got to put in the legwork. Like, that's one of those things. There's no miracle solution. It's just can I reach out to more people than the other people can? And am I relentless enough to stick with it until I get the interviews that I want to get? Okay. All right. Next question.
All right. This question is from Sheldon. He says, should I launch my course without finishing up my email sequence? I already have an audience that gave me the course idea and content. I just haven't done the autoresponder side. All right. Well, I'll tell you something. When I first started elementary librarian for like about the first year, I didn't have an autoresponder. I'm not saying that
A
is
year.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
she said
saying
that
you
right.
should do that, okay? But I'm just saying it's not like the end of the world that you don't have one. I like that you are working on your course. That's good. I would recommend trying to finish that up. I mean, if you have part of a course done, I think that's enough to start selling. You know our philosophy. Like we think if you have some of it done, you know that you'll get the rest finished if you have an audience in there. So that's what I would do.
Yeah. If you can deliver the product, you have an autoresponder. Like, what does that mean? I don't have an autoresponder. If you have one email that automatically delivers things, you have an autoresponder. So you win. So I'm giving everyone out there permission right now. If you have one email that can give people the username and password or a link to the product, you have an autoresponder, right? If you have an opt-in and you have one email that says, hey, thanks for signing up, here's your opt-in, you have an autoresponder, and you add to it over time and let it grow.
But his course is done.
Yeah,
So
just
I mean,
deliver it, man.
yeah,
Go for it.
just start an autoresponder. And
here's go ahead.
there's really no excuse. We have an exact training and templates inside the Flip Your Life community.
I'm
So
actually
what are you waiting for?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna throw the gauntlet down too, dude. Like Sheldon, I don't care what you're doing tonight. Like at 9:00, like when you're settling in, you're about to wind it down. No, stay up and write 4 emails tonight. Just do it. Like get the work done, bro. Like go make the autoresponder. Like if you look at me and say, man, I'd love to start a YouTube channel, but I don't have a video. Someone asked me that earlier today, and I looked at him and I said, okay,
turn on your phone.
I said, turn on your phone. I'm going to type a paragraph. You're going to record it and upload it. I don't care if it's 17 seconds. You now have a video for your YouTube channel. Like, if the answer is I don't have that, then do that. So yeah, man, like suck it up. Whatever you're doing, pick a night this week and get it done. Go write an autoresponder that'll take them where you want them to
And
go.
that goes for the rest of you who are listening to this
right.
too. If you don't have your autoresponder done, get it done. Do it tonight.
Literally in the Flip Your Life community, there is a email autoresponder course that will take you 45 minutes to watch. And I have a PDF that you can download that gives you a template to write your first emails.
No excuses.
No excuses. Are they the best emails that you'll ever write? No, you're probably going
to.
But
there's something.
Them. But there's something. You can have it done. Like you could sit down for 3 hours and you'd be done. Like right now, our autoresponder, I would say, is probably 70% about the same as when we launched Flip Lifestyle. It's changed. It's evolved. We've added. We've taken away. But that first autoresponder we wrote has pretty much stood the test of time. And we did it once 6 years ago.
Just get a baseline. You can always change it later.
That's right. All right, I got a great success story. These are my favorite success stories because this is a first sale success story. Rocio writes, I have my first member. Woohoo. Big win, y'all. I just got my first paying member.
Yay.
Listen to this. I got the notice as I was feeding my baby. And I'm so glad I didn't drop him when I read the message. So that is absolutely amazing. That is so awesome. And congratulations. And you know what we say, Rocio? If you find one, you can find 101, 1,001. You found somebody that wanted your product. There are 7 billion people on this planet. And if you can find one, there's 100 more like her or him. So go out there and find those other members. And you are on your way. She said, woohoo, thanks S&J and the FIL community for helping me get this far. And I love our success forums too, because I'd say 90% of these posts end that way. It's not always just thank you, Shane and Jocelyn. It's thank you, Shane and Jocelyn, and this community, because so many people help so many people inside of our forums. And, if you're not using the forums and you're not in there asking questions and you're not giving and helping other people too, you're really missing out. You need to be logging in daily and getting that information and that help that you need to take your business to the next level. And you may know something to help somebody else. So Make sure
And
you're
we're
taking
in there
advantage of
too,
that.
guys. I log in almost every day and answer as many questions as I can. Shane logs in and answers as many questions as he can. But the cool thing about it is that I'm usually one of the second, third, fourth people to answer because our community is so awesome.
Yeah.
So like if you're not using this resource, if you're here and you're paying for it, if you're a free member and you've just joined, like use these resources, take advantage of it. Do you want this to happen or not?
Yeah.
Like we want you to make it happen.
Yeah. If you want to check out the community too, and you're watching this later, it's flippedlifestyle.com/free. Try it for 30 days. Like go in there and ask a question and see if you don't get an answer. Like it's absolutely amazing. And a buddy of mine that I'm in a mastermind with today, we're getting ready to do like an affiliate launch where he's going to introduce us to his audience. We're going to do like an affiliate program for Flip Your Life community just for us, selling out to the world and just getting out as many, as many people as possible to know about the community. And we want to sell, his audience into our membership. And he was like, man, you do what inside your community? I'm like, yeah, man, it's not just courses. We literally help people come in and we help them with their business. And, there's hundreds of people in here and they all answer questions too. And he goes, if I could have had that when I was alone in my basement building my online business, I would have succeeded so much faster and easier. And I'm like, I know. That's why we did it this way.
But if you are not making progress, that means you're probably not using the community.
Yep,
so
right.
start using it. That's what we're here for. Okay.
Next question. What number are we on right now?
Let me see. All right, we are on, let's see, there's a couple of success stories in here too. It's a little bit confusing. I think 13 or 14.
Okay, just keep going.
All right. This question is from Lene. It says, what if you launch and you can't get your next month's content out in time or decide to pivot to something else?
If you launch, you must deliver what you promised and you don't get to pivot until you're done delivering. You really, really need to deliver what you promised to those people, period.
You can't just be like, hey guys, thanks for buying. See ya.
My mind. Like you can't do that, right? So if you launch a product and you've promised 6 weeks of courses, number one, the answer is never, I can't deliver the next thing. You're like, that's an integrity problem and you've got to deal with that. Like you can't just lie to people and say that or change your mind, right? So you got to deliver it. You got to finish it. If you want to pivot, that's fine, but you pivot after the beta group's done, after you've delivered everything that you've promised, and then you pivot. And one of the reasons we want people to pre-launch, guys, is because it puts a fire under you to go deliver something. If someone gave you money, you owe it to them to deliver to them and not fail them. Right now, if there's something that comes up like medical or a problem, you probably need to refund all of their money and give it back and say, I'm sorry, but be ready to get bashed, and get tweeted at and all that good stuff. So,
but I think that if you're unsure about your product at the time of your launch, like if you're kind of like, well, I might want to do this if people buy it, but if they don't, I'm not really sure. Then I would say either don't or launch something shorter. Like if you were initially planning a 10-week course, make it a 3-week course or something. Like find a way to make it where you can kind of bail out a little bit earlier than, trying to do something really long if you're not 100% sure about it.
Yeah. That's why even when people are launching their membership, a lot of people ask us about an annual option. And I always ask them back, are you going to be here a year from now? Are you committed? We sell an annual membership for the Flip Your Life community. Like members can upgrade and save some money to our annual plan. But guess what? We're going to be here in a year. We're committed to it. We're all in. So if you're not all in and you're not quite sure and, don't do that. And if you're already in that situation, I would highly recommend you finish the job, do what you're supposed to do and go. When I was coaching college football, I had a job as a graduate assistant at West Virginia University. I was really fortunate to get another job at Eastern Kentucky University that was a little bit more prestigious. It was like more responsibility, learning more stuff. I was about to leave to go to Eastern Kentucky, but I was like co-camp director at West Virginia. So this is like, 1,000 kids coming in for football camp during the summer. It's a 2-week thing, a big, long process of planning, getting things done on site, 11, 12 hours a day. I mean, it's the hardest work I've ever done in my life. I couldn't just up and leave and go to my next job. I had to fulfill my obligation to finish my commitment that I had already made, because if I didn't do it, nobody else was going to do that. So, that's just part of the deal. When you promise somebody you're going to do something online, do it, because that stuff will sneak up. Don't think you can hide online just because there's so many people online. Like if you mess with people or you mess up something like that, like it'll follow you. So I would just say finish the job, then pivot, and everything will be okay.
All right, this next question is from Paul. He says, I'm selling my courses a la carte, but I'm wondering if I should quit that and only do the membership.
Okay. It's a good question. Now, there are different philosophies about what to do with content and membership. You can have all of your content available in the membership by itself and only in the membership. You can drip your content out where they can only get a few things at once. Okay. You can have some stuff public, some stuff in the membership, or all the stuff a la carte and all the stuff in the membership. We have found the most success putting all of the stuff in the membership and just selling it as it's all in there and it's the only way you can get it. But I know many people that sell things a la carte and inside the monthly membership, and that works too. So, I think for you, since it's already a la carte, just put it in the membership too and give them a deal for taking advantage of all of it at once and sell them against each other and almost use that as a reason to go into the membership. We like memberships better than one-off purchases because, oh, my average member stays 6 months paying $50 a month. I can count on that money every month, right? I can plan ahead. I can see how much I'm going to make. If somebody buys an a la carte course, you don't know what they're going to do next, right? So there's no predictability in it. But that doesn't mean you can't offer them separately. Like we've, thought about doing that ourselves.
There can be advantages to offering things separately depending on your audience. Like I think that if your audience is really price sensitive, it can be a good idea to offer some one-off products. And the reason for that is because it's less of a commitment. It's less of a financial investment usually, and people can try it out, see if they like it. If they do, they can then upgrade to the membership.
So basically, start the membership, put it all in there, and give them the option and let people vote with their wallet and see what they choose. And that's going to give you the best feedback that you can get to know if it's right or wrong. Also, too, this goes back to, do people see my stuff? 90% of people who join your membership won't know that all that stuff's even for sale individually. And 90% of the people that find the individual courses may not know there's a membership unless you tell them. So, we assume that everyone has all the information we do. I know the great fear of releasing stuff publicly is individual sales will cannibalize memberships, which is bad because then you don't have the stable, predictable income to grow your business, right? But it really is niche specific, so you just got to give it a shot and see what happens. Okay. Also, too, if you're starting a membership site, don't just think you can throw a bunch of content in a membership and people are going to pay monthly. Memberships thrive when they have great community and great leadership that shows up. Okay. That's how our communities have all been built. That's how we will continue to build our communities, because if it's just based on content, if you're focused totally on the content, it doesn't matter. So the content is the seed, but you've got to go in and give them other reasons to pay every single month, Paul. You've got to tell them, I'm here for you. I'm going to show up for you every month in member calls. I'm going to show up for you in my community. You're going to be surrounded by other people in this space, so you're not alone. If you can't do that in your membership, then don't open a membership. Okay. Memberships are not all my content in one place, all access. That's a perk. That's a benefit, but that's not the reason people are going to stay. Okay.
All right. This next question is from Nicola. She says, can you please give us a quick rundown on how you go about planning your video courses? And how long does it take you to research and prepare your outline on the video?
Okay. I love this.
Or per video, sorry.
Okay. So not long. Okay. We, primarily we have I think there's 60 videos right now all together inside the Flip Your Life community, something like that. So we have 60 courses on online business inside the Flip Your Life membership that have just developed and been built over time. Most of those were literally sitting down for 30 minutes, outlining and penciling in what we wanted to talk about. And then me or Jocelyn turned on a camera, talked about that topic, and gave all of our knowledge and information, just freestyle, one take, here it is. And then we sent it to an editor and someone to make the PowerPoints to make it look visually appealing. It was not
heavily edited.
It's not heavily edited. We don't put a lot of time and effort into those things. Some niches require more research. We've got a number of members that are in the medical field, the medical niche. They got to do a lot more research than we do. But, we know our subject. You know your subject. And content just should not take more than a day to create, guys. It shouldn't take you 3 weeks to make a course. A course is a 45-minute to 30-minute video. And, maybe some kind of workbook or something that they can get some resources and get their ideas on paper. It's not complicated, and people really overcomplicate this process. But I did probably 40 of the 60 videos in 1 month inside the Flip Your Life community. Isaac, you're on camera. My son just ran in in his underwear online. That's how it works. Isaac, go on. You can't go in here.
This is what we get for. This is what we get for holding member calls at night.
My son just ran through in his underwear. Okay, all right. So this has been an interesting call. All right, what was I even talking about?
We will get hate emails saying that we shouldn't have had our kid
on
video.
I don't need your unsolicited advice. Okay.
Okay, it looks like shorts, people. Okay,
it's shorts. Just really. Okay. All right. Anyway, so back to courses. So we basically did all of those courses like a month because we just did one a day, and you really 1 or 2 a day. You shouldn't be putting that much effort into these things. If you know your subject and you can talk about it correctly, if you're a true expert in your subject, you should be able to sit down and teach anything. If you go watch my YouTube videos and Jocelyn's YouTube videos, I watched Jocelyn the other day. She had 4 Post-it notes on her computer, and she turned a YouTube live on and taught for like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, it was like 6 minutes.
All right. No, you did one for 16 the other day.
Oh, that was pretty impressive,
pretty
actually.
Impressive for you.
My last one was like 6.
Yeah, that's okay. But you got your point across. So we don't get too our goal is just to give people the information they need to succeed. Like, why does it have to be a 3-week project to get a perfect PowerPoint when I could give you the information today?
And if you're hiding behind that, saying, oh, well, it has to be perfect, I don't want to release it unless it's exactly the way I want it to be, then guess what? You are just hiding behind that. You're hiding behind that illusion of perfection that's never going to happen, and you're postponing it because of that. Like, you have some kind of fear about putting it out.
Imagine if you went up to someone. Imagine if you were starving to death, like literally, like you need food, right? Like that's your problem. And you went up to someone and you were like, hey, I heard you were a baker. Could you bake me some bread? Or even better, could you teach me how to bake some bread? And you looked at them and you went, oh yeah, I'm a baker. I make the best bread. It's nutritious. It fills you up. It makes you healthy. It makes you strong. Listen, I'm going to go in here and noodle on this recipe for a couple weeks. Check back next month, and then I'll teach you how. Well, you're going to starve to death. Person's going to starve to death and die before you make the bread for them or you give them the bread. So stop holding your bread back from starving people. There's people out there right now that need what you can teach them, and you're not delivering for them because you're holding back. So, everyone listening to my voice right now could write down an outline that was a story that happened in your life, 3 steps to get to the next level, and then give that to them in a video course, and it could help somebody take their next steps. So do it. Just go make courses and don't worry about it, and you can always make them better later. Okay. All right, I got a really good success story here, Jocelyn. There's another member in the Flip Your Life community forums named Janet. Janet is a member of our All Access Mastermind. She also is was an attendee at Flip Your Life Live, and I've been challenging her to get her a webinar out, to get out there and do a webinar and really pitch this membership. And let's really take this thing to the next level. And she just opened the doors and got 232 people registered for her webinar. So that is an absolutely amazing story. Good job, Janet. We're so proud of you for taking action and getting that done. Okay. All right. Next question.
Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, our next question is from Amber. It says, would you recommend to offer people 2 different options for payments? For example, pay the entire amount in full or 2 to 3 smaller monthly amounts. Is it smarter to just stick with pay in full?
Nope. You want multiple options. There's a psychological term called price anchoring, where, like, let's say you want them to buy a monthly membership at $97 a month. Okay. If you just put $97 on your page, it's a yes or no. They're in or they're out. They're gone. But if I have, hey, it's $97 a month or $9.97 a year. Okay. Or maybe I have a content only membership for $49. Right. Well, I've given now people 3 options. So some people are going to say, wow, I can save $200 if I buy this big one. I'll do that. Some people are going to say that middle option is really affordable and I get access to everything I need. Some other people are going to say, wow, I just want the content. I'll do that. And then there's still going to be some people that say no, but instead of 50-50, it's now, 25, 25, 25, 25. Also, it goes beyond that. Like, don't just give people price options, give them payment options. We include PayPal and our payment processor on all of our pages. Maybe somebody doesn't have a credit card, but they have PayPal. Maybe they want to use PayPal, but they don't want to use their credit card, or maybe they want to use their credit card and they don't have PayPal. Like, we want to make sure that they have every option. There was for a time there, we didn't realize it, but people couldn't use Discover Card in our order form. So we actually had to go add that into our payment processor. So, you don't want to overwhelm people with options. You don't want 72 options. 3, 2, that's probably all you want to give them. But you need options.
Some options are better than no options. If those things that Shane was saying, if you feel like totally overwhelmed and you're like, I don't even know where to start on that, then just start with 2. Like, just have an option. Okay. But we usually like to have a few different options when we do payment plans or payment processors.
We want to water down the no. Like, if you come to a page, there's one price, you get to say yes or no. We want you to think yes, no, maybe, then look at the price.
I do want to say that there are some disadvantages to payments. One being that they aren't always collected. So sometimes you will receive the first payment and maybe somebody won't pay the second payment. So then you have to kind of chase them down and find it, or like kick them out of the membership if it's a membership. There are some kind of negative things to it, but overall you probably will get more customers because people are not having to pay a large lump sum.
And 90% of people are probably going to pay it off. We're talking about the minority of people will cause a problem with any payment plan or membership. Okay?
So just be prepared for that is all I'm trying to say. Just know that sometimes their payment won't go through. And when it doesn't, you need to have some type of procedure to kick them out of the membership or let them know that they didn't pay. Just know that you need to follow up with that. Okay. All right, this question is from Colin. Colin says, I'm stuck in neutral. I only have a handful of blog posts and 0 audience. I want to start an email list, but I'm wondering if it's too soon. Although I think I might be more apt to post if I knew that someone was going to read my content. All right, Colin. Well, here's the thing. You say you have a handful of blog posts and 0 audience and you have no email list. Well, how do you know that you have 0 audience if you don't have an email list? Like, do you have Google Analytics installed? Are you looking to see how many people are landing on your blog post? Are you doing any keyword research? Are you looking to see what are people searching for in this space? And are you writing about that? So I would ask you those questions first.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times people, this sounds like an impatience thing, don't you think? Like, it's just like, dude, go make more content and study your data and see what's working. Like, make as much content as you can. This isn't, I do one thing and it works forever. Like, we're not going to hit home runs straight out of the gate. It's just go do more, give it more time. Let it season. You know how you cook something, Johnson? What's something you cook and you like leave it in the oven? Like soup, right?
You don't put soup in the oven.
In the refrigerator. That's what I meant. I didn't mean oven. Like, say Jocelyn makes the best vegetable soup on the planet, which she does, right? Getting cold. We need some vegetable soup. But she makes great vegetable soup. But you know how like you put vegetable soup in the refrigerator and like 2 days later it tastes really, really good because you gave it time to really sit and season and let it go do its thing. Like, that's what you got to do. Like, when you release content, you're not going to see the benefit of it for a while. And that's just the way it is. I did a YouTube video the other day. One of my YouTube videos, the first day got 300 views. The other one got 5. Literally got 5 views. So I did some keyword research on there. But a year from now, that may be 1,000 views and it creates 5 or 6 members. I don't know that. So let it season, study your analytics, and do more of what seems to be working. Okay.
All right, this question is from Michelle. It says, I'm launching a health and wellness membership January 1st, which is when everyone sets new weight loss and health goals. What timeline would you use to have a successful January launch? My opt-in bonus is a 3-day detox going live on Monday.
It needs to be probably sold the week before January 1st and really needs to be focused on New Year's resolutions and things like that. Like, you don't want to wait until July 1st to launch your thing.
January 1st.
Or January 1st. Yeah. What did I say? July. Yeah. You don't want to wait until January 1st to release that. You want to be like, well, you could open the cart on January 1st, but I would almost want to open it maybe like even the weekend before, like on like the 29th.
When I'm getting ready to start something, I'm an investigator. I don't want to just get the information on January 1st and expect to do it. Like, if I'm going to start a new eating plan or a new exercise plan, I want to start studying it a little bit before. So I would say maybe even like the week before Christmas, maybe make it a Christmas thing.
Like, Christmas could be like, you could be like, what you're going to do to yourself. You know it's about to happen at Christmas dinner. You know, you're going to kill it. And you know what happened at Thanksgiving. You've been crushing it for a month. Look, go have your fun. I'm going to be here for you on
Give
the 26th.
yourself the gift of health,
Yeah.
tell someone that you want this as a holiday gift.
You could hype it the week before Christmas and then sell it the week between Christmas and New Year's to get people in. Like, come in now and ask questions. You really want to be prepared before the first and all that good stuff. And we're getting started on the second. So, like, give it a little bit more hype, a little bit more run up time. So, I know people right now in the I call it's the New Year's space. They always sell their planners and their organizers and all that stuff at the beginning of the year. They're selling stuff now. They're starting at like Black Friday, getting ready. Like, hey, end of the year's coming, finish strong, do your thing. But are you prepared for into the first quarter? Are you prepared for the new year? And it's 2 months away from the year.
And
So
I think you could even maybe do something, like you said, you're doing this 3-day detox. Maybe do that after Thanksgiving. So, people have had a crazy eating weekend of Thanksgiving. It's gone on to Black Friday. Hey guys, I know you had a great Thanksgiving, but like it's time to get real now. Let's have a great from Thanksgiving to Christmas. And then, then we'll start over in January 1st. Like I think that you can really take that and run with that in that space. So I would definitely consider that.
all right, great question. I got another success story. This is a really cool success story because it has nothing to do with money or quitting your job or anything like that. It's just it's one of the most amazing and simplest success stories I've seen in the community. It says my avatar clicked on a link in my emails. Okay, so this is from Jennifer, and Jennifer said, I sent an email to my 18-person email list. 3 people opened it, but here's what's crazy. One person clicked my link. I looked at her email, and it was a person who came to one of my live classes that I taught next year. I know she's my perfect avatar. And when she clicked that link, I felt like I was doing something right. Can't wait to email again tomorrow. So every success stacks up. That is awesome, Jennifer. One, that you got that click, right? Two, that you recognized how awesome it was. And success leaves clues. She realized that if she sent emails before, she had links in her emails before, but that one clicked and that one resonated. And now she's looking at it going, hey, that's a piece of content I need to explore and do more of because my avatar liked it. And that's going to lead to more successes down the road. So,
And I love that. Thank
yeah.
you for sharing that with us.
What a great
And
success story.
you know what? I just want to tell you guys about these success stories. Like we read every single one, and I go in and personally comment on every single one. If you have read or if you have left a success story in our success area, I will come in and comment on it. I will come in and congratulate you. Like we get really excited about that. So if you've not been leaving success stories, even if it's something that you perceive to be small, like we think that every success is big. So let us know about it. We want to know what you guys are up to
That's
and
a
what you're
real
doing.
human being that clicked that link, right? That's not a stat. And, and that's a real clue about the content that she may need to create to get more clicks and more emails. So, every little thing, it's, I was talking to a guy earlier today and I told him, success in online business is almost like a landfill. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. Okay. There was this big landfill that they started when I was a kid in the city that's like to the north of where I live. It's about 12 miles up to the north. And I remember it used to be this big empty pit. And slowly but surely, I remember, it's getting fuller and fuller and fuller. And I remember one day I was driving back and forth to college at UK, and I looked up one day over the hill, and this little grassy knoll had poked over the edge. The landfill had filled in the hole and become a hill, and now it's like almost a mountain that you can see forever. And that's what online business success looks like. One shovel at a time, one move wheelbarrow at a time, and then finally all of a sudden, boom, you've created an amazing mountain that you can see for miles, right? And everyone will notice you at that point, but nobody notices the other stuff. And that's just the kind of the same thing that's happening here. She's just shoveling, she's digging, and finally, boom, little gold. So keep going. It's awesome.
All right.
I never thought I would
And
be describing a landfill on tonight's member call, Jocelyn.
no, that was
That's a good one.
definitely a new one
That's a
for
good one.
us. All right. The final question for tonight is from Julia, and she says, I'm offering a product and I do not want to be a recipe provider. I love teaching and motivating and giving information. The people I've come into contact with and helped offline seem to resist coaching. They take the info for one time and then don't really want to have coaching. That is my main product. Do you have any suggestions? I'm trying to find a way to incorporate it with my unique kind of motivational course as well.
Well, she said most people seem to resist the coaching.
Yes. So I'm
Well,
wondering if you're
well,
targeting the wrong people.
exactly. Some of the people don't resist it. Go find more of them. Like that's what defining and refining your avatar really means. Is hey, some people resist some of the advice we give. Some people resist memberships. Some people resist, working extra hours at night because when your kids are asleep, or some people resist, this, that, or the other. Well, we don't target them, right? Some people resist that, don't travel and, live in Thailand on $8 a day. Like some people actually sell that. Some people resist, hey, we're not here to make Lamborghinis. We're just here to pay off the minivan, right? Whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, that's the people we're targeting. So you need to look at the people that don't resist you and go find more of them and forget about the ones that do. Maybe they do need a course. Maybe you don't target them at all. We had someone on our post, someone posted something stupid on our Facebook thing today. And I remember just thinking how it was like they were trying to argue with us over something, and I just banned them because I'm just not going to deal with that negativity. This is a business. Like we're here to find the people that want to buy our products and do the things that we teach. And if you're going to resist and you're going to fight us and you're going to disrupt the culture that we have created in our membership, you're probably not the right fit here. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you need to go somewhere else and get what you need, right? And you need to look at it that way too. Had a guy today that I was coaching on a call, and he was talking about his different clients. And he was talking about younger clients were really cheap and always stiffing him on money. And, I just looked right at him and told him, like, why do you sell to anyone who's younger then? Like, I'm not trying to be like ageist or whatever the bad term for, but if that's really truly happening, why are you targeting those people? Why are you taking that? And he's like, well, I just don't I hate to turn down any jobs. And I'm like, well, go find other jobs. Spend the time that you would have spent with them finding, someone who will pay you, or stick to your current clients that do pay your bills. Like, you don't have to serve everybody. You don't have to serve anybody. Find the people that want to hear what you're saying and sell to them, and you'll be okay.
Okay, when I said it was our last question, I was just kidding because there was one more that we missed, and it was from Jen. Jen says, at my speaking engagements, people pay money to attend. I'm trying to decide what to offer them to get them to join my membership. Should I offer a free month, a lower monthly rate, a lower annual rate? What do you think?
I like to pitch free trials. It's been really easy and fun. And, for us, we've tried dollar trials, we've tried discounted rates, we've tried, 6 months at a lower rate and then it goes up, and 6 months at a higher rate and it goes down. We've tried all kinds of
The
things.
free trial is just a
It's
no-brainer.
just a no-brainer. I mean, and if you're that confident in your stuff, why would you not want them to try it? So you're on stage and you're in front of a couple hundred people and you have the opportunity to give them a free trial. Hey, try it for free. If you don't like it, cancel anytime.
The thing that I love about the free trial is that it just doesn't feel icky to promote. Like, we're giving you 30 days for free. If you don't like it, you can cancel anytime.
That's right.
And, when I say that to people, like, it's not like, oh, well, I want you to give me money. It's just more like, hey, check out what we have. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't like it, like, that's cool. There's no hard feelings or anything. But we are giving you our best stuff, and you can decide if you're going to take action on it or if you're not. And so I think this is the same type of thing. Like, it's very easy to pitch from a stage. It doesn't feel like you're violating the people who put on the event. It doesn't feel like that you're doing something you're not supposed to do by pitching. Like, you're just offering them a free trial.
Yeah. So, it's not even really selling. Like, your selling is going to be done in the emails and in your service to them afterwards, right? Anybody that's on here right now that got a free trial this month, guess what? We're serving you right now. We probably answered some of your questions tonight. That's cool. You're in the free trial. You're a member. You're not a different member. You're not a restricted member. You're an all access. You're in the club. We're serving you. And we hope you stick around next month. If you don't, thanks for trying, but we got to go on to the next people. We don't have time. We got to serve our members. So yeah, give them a free trial, and worst case scenario, you'll get a ton of leads, and you may come up with something better later for your business, and that's cool. No problem.
All right, guys, it has been awesome. Thank you for joining us on our Halloween Q&A. It's been really fun, and we enjoyed dressing up. I'm going to turn off this blue light now because it's been blaring in my eye for like an hour and a half.
Right.
So we got trunk or treat tomorrow, and
Right now we have bedtime, and we got to go figure out what the kids are doing because they've been in and out a few times on this call, and it's been an interesting call. So thanks for all your great questions. Thanks for all the amazing success stories in the Flip Your Life community. If you need to talk to me and Jocelyn deeper or more about any of these things, we'll drop our coaching links into the chat. We do have our November schedule open now if you want to grab a couple of those spots. Keep an eye on your inbox. I do have a spot opening in the S&J All Access Mastermind. That is our mastermind program where you literally get the bat phone. You get a app on your phone where you can send us messages back and forth, and we can talk on a daily basis if you want to about your business. If you're really in something like a launch, getting ready for the new year, this All Access program is amazing. We're seeing people make massive strides in their business. Just talked to a member of our All Access Mastermind today, and in 1 month of being in the All Access program, she added 100 members to her membership. She's going to be on the podcast very soon. You're going to be able to hear that amazing story in the next few weeks. But I do have a spot opening up, so keep an eye out for that. Will probably come out this week, and once that spot's gone, it's filled back up again. So check that out. We got the coaching link and everything else. And most importantly, guys, it's not enough to just listen. Go take action on what we talked about on the members Q&A tonight and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you again in about 2 weeks.
Bye.